Hi, my name's Maria and welcome to my channel MH Books. And today I thought I'd review Stephen King's The Eyes of the Dragon, because it's very rare that I actually come across Stephen King I haven't read yet. As people watching my channel previously would know, I'm reading Stephen King in publication order from the beginning. So I'm at one book a month. So I'm at The Eyes of the Dragon at the moment. And I'm listening to it. I listened to most of it on audio, which I do recommend. This narrator was brilliant. It's Bronson Pinchot. I did read some of it in hard copy as well. This book is a fantasy story, okay? It starts off with Once Upon a Time in the Kingdom or something like that. It's illustrated throughout, extremely short chapters. We have an omnipresent narrator who is telling us the story. So you can imagine this is Stephen King himself, but there's a huge advantage to this in this book. It took me a while to get used to it. I wasn't sure I was happy with this. I like it when Ian Nesbitt as a children's author does this, and I realize this is being told like a children's story almost. It took me a while to get used to this narrator talking to me, because he sounded like Stephen King and yet he didn't. But I've gotten used to it. The narrator who's talking to us and telling us the story is definitely a male. And he tells us the weaknesses of his stories, and that he will tell some truths and exaggerate others, and it's very much you being told what the storyteller is doing as you go along. But it has a huge advantage in this, and that Stephen King has a bad guy. For those who don't read a lot of Stephen King, he has one bad guy, which would be like the Voldemort from J.K. Rowling, the Moriarty of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes series, and that is Randall Flagg, the Black Man. Actually, he's given quite a few different names. So Randall Flagg is one of the most popular names, and because we're being told the story by a storyteller and he spends a lot of time in Randall Flagg's presence. This is the first book which I've actually had a huge insight into one of Stephen King's worst bad guys. So that's why I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. The other thing is, it's a story of two princes and the evil wizard, which is Randall Flagg, and the evil wizard trying to take over the throne via the two young boys, and the manipulations therein. It has a strong prince, which is the ultimate good guy, but also a weak prince. Now, I'm reading these books in publication order. So, about 5 or 6 years before this book is published, The Stand is published. The Stand is a book that most people are familiar with by Stephen King, and it has Randall Flagg, the Black Man, as the bad guy. It also has a boy that he manipulates called Howard, and Howard is almost reincarnated into Thomas, who is one of the princes in this book, and who can be easily manipulated. And throughout, we have the narrator as the storyteller telling us that the storyteller does not believe, just because he's manipulated by an evil man, that Thomas the prince is an evil person. And that just reminded me of a debate that I had while reading The Stand, where someone said that Harold was evil and he deserved everything that happened to him. No, I still believe that Harold's in The Stand and Thomas in this book and a storyteller tells us he believes, the narrator of this book tells us he believes that these boys basically are just boys who are neither bad nor good, but who were unfortunately manipulated by a bad person. So I just thought that was like, okay, it fed into my argument, and you're always going to believe your own argument. Overall, I gave the book a 4-star rating. I can't really tell you much more about the story because there's not a huge amount in the story. I mean, for a 467 page book, we have two princes manipulated by an evil person. If I tell you what else happens, you're given the usual foreshadowing by probably about 20% in. The narrator, Stephen King, will tell you that something terrible is about to happen to one of these princes. And what's about to happen. And that's what happens to him for most of the book. So, you know, but that's up to Mr. King to tell you at the right time. I recommend it to those who like fantasies, but who also like fairy tales, because it's told in a very fairy tale-esque manner. And who are just interested in the Stephen King universe. If you're anyway interested and you haven't completed the universe with this book, you're missing part of the Randall Flagg evil guy character and some information about his weaknesses and his strengths. He is fascinating. He is both human and inhuman, a monster and a demon, but he's still human and sleeps. He is an incredible invention of an incredible mind. And for ends, my very random, very rambling review of Stephen King's The Eyes of the Dragon. Until next time, bye now.